Boom. Keep them coming. What's going on, everyone? Bobbybarks here, and welcome to my round 1 review for The Last of Us World Cup. So there's been lots going on, shown you quite a lot of videos. Haven't shown you every video because there was just too many to get through and not enough editors. So I do apologise for that, but I did show you what were the best games I could possibly show you. There were a number of games that didn't take place, there were players that didn't respond, some players that played a game and then decided to withdraw, and it got a little bit messy. And to be honest, I started contemplating whether hosting this World Cup was going to be worth it. I'm very, very busy personally and at work, so it's difficult for me to find time to run these tournaments, and I don't want to feel like I'm wasting that time that I'm putting into it. So because the 1v1s were becoming difficult to organise and getting people to play them, I started thinking to myself, well, are the 2v2s going to be twice as hard, or the 3v3s going to be 3 times as hard? We've finished the 2v2s now. Went a lot better than I thought it did. There were still some issues. We've started playing 3v3s, getting quite a lot of issues with that, to be honest. So we might have to extend some deadlines or look at things to try and help people play those games. But the difficulty we always face is that people are just unresponsive in messages. We schedule a time, somebody doesn't turn up. When they try and find out where he is or she is, they say that they can't come, and you know, you've got 5 other people sat there waiting for the game to be started. So it gets frustrating, and it would just help if people would communicate better in those PSN group messages. And to be quite honest, I do lose my patience a fair bit. Anyway, let's talk to you about the 1v1s. So on the left hand side of the screen, you can see the countries, how many participants are in those countries, what continent they're from, and how many points are scored in round 1. So the top 16 countries are listed there, from Germany to Portugal, in terms of how many points are scored. I haven't sorted that, I do apologise. Let me sort that down. Sort range, column D, Z to A, boom, right. So there you go, Germany to Poland, not Portugal. And the top 16 are the top 16 countries that are going to go through to round 4. So we've got round 1 of 1v1s, round 2 of 2v2s, round 3 of 3v3s. Then after that, we're going to calculate which countries have got the most points. Top 16 teams will go through to round 4. And it'll be straight knockout from there. Haven't quite decided how that's going to work in terms of how many participants are left from each country. We'll just have to wait and see and decide what we're going to do on that. We might have a couple of 2v2s, some 3v3s, and obviously the 1v1s as well. But we'll see how we get on. I've kept a tally of how many points each player is scoring as well in the middle column that you can see. That's for me to have a look at that and think if, for instance, a country with 3 players doesn't finish in the top 16, but one of those players is one of the highest scorers, I'm probably going to put that player through as well. I don't want an individual to be cost his place in the next round because he hasn't been involved in a game where nobody scored any points. So I'm keeping a tally of that as well, and using that as a backup and as a double check to make sure that the top 16 players are going through to the next round as well as the top 16 countries, if that makes any sense. Then on the right hand side we've got the tables and how things finished, so I'm going to run through that with you so that you're aware of what's been happening. So in Group A we had Thomas 6735 representing Scotland. He won all 3 games. Unfortunately for Thomas, he did have his PSN banned, so he's now playing on his alt account, which is the Mass Vidal or something like that. So he's playing on that account now for Scotland. So his username will change going forward. You'll see that from the 3v3s onwards. He wasn't involved in the 2v2s. Poland, Girl Gamer Alexa, she got a win against TR Sefer, and TR Sefer was awarded the win against Dark Killer because Dark Killer withdrew first, and then Sefer went afterwards, I think. It's a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it went down. Group B, Janos Maiden, quarterfinals 1v1 winner, smashed all his opponents. He only played Barak and OND. Suzuka Kill from Portugal was just completely unresponsive in the messages and got disqualified. So those people, these countries and people that you see with red lines through, means that they've either withdrawn or been disqualified. You'll see it in the middle column whether they've withdrawn or been disqualified based on what I've put in the comment section. Group C then, this was probably the best group that we got going. I was the admin of it, so that's probably why, but I did keep pressing people and pushing people to play the games. I ended up finding out everyone's time zones, what times they're available, then I scheduled the match in for them to make sure that they'd play the game, kept reminding them that the game was approaching and things like that. And you know, if I haven't said that to any of the admins that help me do these tournaments, that's the way to try and make sure the games are played. Don't just send the message and then expect everything to happen, because it just doesn't. I've lost count of the amount of times somebody's replied in a PSN group message and said, "I'm on," or "We're on for an hour, can you get on?" And it just never works like that because of time zones and people's social life. So, Group C, Tinetro, absolutely brilliant. We showed all Tinetro's games against Andy, Romance and Gusty. Obviously won all 3. Andy picked up the wins against Romance and Gusty, and then Romance beat Gusty as well. So unfortunately for Gusty, he finished bottom of that table with 0 points, and Tinetro topped it with the full 9. Group D then, this was an interesting group. I did find Dennis Weiner Gamer, actually should be red. He withdrew or got disqualified, I can't remember. Disqualified, there you are. Being unresponsive in group messages is generally the reason why you get disqualified. So he went, which meant Retic picked up the win against Dennis Weiner for Dennis not being there. So he picked up an automatic win. But unfortunately lost to both Gods and Ours Rapier. They obviously picked up their wins against Dennis for Dennis being disqualified, and then they drew with each other, so they picked up 7 points each. Ours Rapier finished top of the group based on his downs for and downs against, which is what those little F and A's are there if you're wondering. Group E then, we had Japan and NGLFDTH, or however he wants to be called. He won all 3 games. We didn't actually show any of his games because he had an overlay on his recording, and it was just too much. And I think one of the recordings that he sent in had music playing over, like heavy metal music playing as part of it. But he'd edited it together like that. He wasn't playing in the background while he was playing the game through a microphone. He'd actually edited it with music in to send it in to us. So I need clean edits, people. I can't work with your own edits. Don't touch anything. Just record it, upload it, send it. That's all I need you to do. So I did try, or the admin did try talking to NGL about sending in clean footage. Never got any responses, so we didn't show any of his games. But he did win all 3 games. Unfortunately, when it comes to the 2v2s, he actually withdrew before he played any games. As soon as they saw the release for The Last of Us Part 2, that trailer with Ellie kissing, that trailer, yeah, he decided that he was not going to play TLOU ever again because he didn't like the trailer and said he would never play The Last of Us Part 2, so it was pointless now playing The Last of Us Part 1 and just left the group message. Don't ask. Do not ask. I have no idea. No idea. Sancho East, then you saw that game he played against ABC Defiance, which he won. And then all three of them picked up a automatic win against the Philippines guy, Forgive Thy Enemy, who was disqualified for being, you guessed it, unresponsive. Group F then, we had Wreckage here, who wrecked everybody for Canada. Very surprised with the game against Jeff from USA. I thought Jeff would have put up a better fight than what he did. But Wreckage, fair play to him, very, very good player and very good wins in that group. Jeff won the other two games, and then Titum was awarded the win against Adrian. I think Adrian did play somebody. He played either Jeff or Wreckage and lost, and then decided because he lost a game he won't play anymore. So, you know, Mexico's only representative decided to do that. Annoyed me a little bit, did that, because this guy got in touch with me after the deadline for registering and closed, and, you know, begged basically to be a part of the tournament. So I managed to fit him in, and then he goes and does that. It makes me wonder why I bother helping people, to be honest. But anyway, Group G. This one was a shit show. We didn't show any games from this because people didn't submit footage. Just fucking nightmare of participants arguing in the group messages. This bellend at the bottom from Pakistan didn't respond to anything. This fuckpig here, he played a game and won a game, I think, against somebody. Then he got the automatic win against this. He played Nasir. That's right, he played Nasir, and Nasir beat him, and he started kicking off, saying all sorts of shite, like Nasir were camping and running away. I watched the game. Nasir played really well. There was no camping or moving away. It was just fucking ridiculous. He was just pissed that he'd lost, basically. And then Blaziken and Nazir, I think, did play and drew with each other, or couldn't arrange a time because of time zones, so we just awarded them a point each or something. But this was just one of those groups where you just think, why do I even bother? Group H was a good group. I think all games got played there. Everyone was really good in terms of organising those games. Pedro Berger, my favourite PSN name, as I've already established. Great play from him in all three games. He got the full 9 points. Not many people did that. Was the R12 Shoot came second with 6 points. Diary of Jane third with that one win against Gia Costa, who unfortunately lost all three games. Group I, this one was a bit of a nightmare. I still don't even know to this day whether these two played, so I hadn't awarded them any points each because nobody's telling me. I have asked the question numerous times and nobody can give me a straight answer. So Costa Rica, they played all three games and won. Bow player, I think, was MC. Very, very good player, very good bow player. Olympian from Trinidad and Tobago. He got 2 wins. And then Magna and the Max unfortunately lost to both these two. And like I say, not sure whether they ever played or not. The guy from Trinidad and Tobago, Olympian, actually withdrew from the 2v2s. So we had to get somebody in to replace him, because the 2v2s, when they're from one nation, if one of them drops out, it becomes very, very difficult for the other player to play without a second person with them. So we did get one of the admins to replace him for those games. I think that was Mayhem. I think Mr. Mayhem replaced him in the 2v2. So Group J. This one, there was 5 players in this one, because that's just how many players registered for the tournament. So what I did with this is I took 3 points off everybody on this, so that it aligned with teams, with groups of 4 nations, because it wouldn't have been fair just because they had an extra game to play that they'd score more points than everyone else. So we deducted 3 points from everybody to start with. Abdrouf only played 2 or 3 games, I think, and then decided to withdraw. Anyway, so to be honest, I probably could have expunged him and his results and just had these 4, and the results against each other count. But anyway, that should be a 3. Do apologise, Tunisia, deducting your points there. Look, bless you. There you go. Yeah, so because Abdrouf lost all his games and we deducted 3 points for everybody, he ended up on -3, bless him. Machine Gun Kelly for Tunisia, 3 points. I think they did. I'm sure he played against Abdrouf and won. He wasn't just awarded that win; he did actually win that game. Dos Santos, Angel X Shot, and Damn It Sammy, very, very close, 5-4-4. Very, very tight group. But great play from all 3 of them. They were very, very good players, all 3 of those players. So that is it. So that's your roundup really for round 1. I hope you've just kept note of who's got what points on the mid chart as we've been going down. And then on this left chart here, like I say, after round 1, they are your top 16 teams and the nations that will go through to the knockout stages. Japan obviously won't because he's withdrawn, so Cyprus would probably take his place. That's just how it works. Okay, that's all from me. If you've got any questions, ask it in the comment section. I will do my best to answer. I know it can be quite complicated with the way I'm going through it and how it comes across, particularly when I'm full of hay fever and I sound like a snivelling dog. I do apologise for that as well. So, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in round 2 for the 2v2s. Bye for now.